So now, let's put a few things away. We're coming on to cutting bias binding. Let me just make sure I got enough of the table. Wrong way. Yeah, in front of me. Right, so now we're on to bias binding. Now to cut bias binding, you can do this with a fat quarter, or you can do it with a length of material. The longest part of mine, whoops, is, I haven't quite got it, have I, though? Width of fabric. So I am going to take a piece. I don't think I'm going to want very much. So I think I'm going to start with a piece, yeah, just to that. I'm not really measuring it out, but I'm saying, well, I don't want to make loads and loads and loads of it, because it's not a very big runner to go around, is it? So I'm just going to cut myself sort of a half a yard, I suppose, roughly half a yard. Alright, get rid of that. Let's see if I can make it out of this. I should be able to. Now, when you put it on your worktop, you want to do it so that the shortest width is across your tip from you, and the longest width is going sideways. And then what we do is we'll bring down the corner, okay, no, we'll take up a corner, so we make a triangle. Alright, see? So I've now made a triangle. And then with the other side, we'll do the same. Now I haven't got very much over this side, as you can see. If I bring that down, can you see? Oh, you can you? Well, I can't. Ah, there. I'm getting this in focus for you now. So I brought that down, and I brought that across. So there's our 45-degree angles. Alright? Then I'm going to turn it. And I'm going to bring, oops, where it just kisses, I'm going to bring the whole thing down. So we've still got so I'm just going to bring that a little bit more central to you so you can see it and bring it across. So we've brought the top down to meet the bottom fold. So this, if we cut straight now, we're actually cutting on the bias. So you can do it with a 2.5-inch ruler. You can do it with another form of ruler. The one I use, obviously, is my favourite, which is my and I'm just lining that up with the top and hoping that that lines up with the bottom, so it does. So I know I'm straight now on my cut, and I'll start over here and I'll do a 0-0 cut. So I start with a nice straight edge and get rid of that little triangle that we can use for other things. And then this time I want to do 2.25. Okay, so if I move my ruler over to the 1/4-inch line on that outside now, alright, So I'm now, there's a dotted 1/4 inch line on here, which means now that my 2 inch mark is now 2 1/4 and so on. Yeah? No, it's not. So that's 2 1/4. So if I take that out, so now you can see that's cut on the bias. So see how stretchy it is? Right, so that's one. And again, move over 1/4 inch. So it's, now I do 4, which is another 2 1/4. And keep moving over. I don't think I need to do much more, to be honest. I'm just going to have a look and see how long this will be when I stitch together. Let's have a little look. So now these are all cut on the bias. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you know what I think? I'm not sure, but I think that's going to be enough. I might do just one more, just to save me having to do it all, get it out all over again. Okay, so that's 2 1/4, 4. Right. I think that's going to be enough. So I'm going to leave that there. And the next thing we're going to do, obviously as we always do, is take the edge, and this time it's already cut for you. So right side's up, yeah, wrong side's down, and make your cross on the square. Yeah, this is what we did. Go back and look at the other video. I'll pin it underneath so that you can go back and look at a much further, got more comprehensive one on this, but we're just going to pin it like we always do, and then the bit we're going to sew, alright, is from this corner, whoops, all the way down to that corner. It's not very dark, is it? It's a bit darker. Yeah, this one. So from, whoops, hard to hold it still. So we're going to sew that line from there to there. That's going to bend back when it's unpinned, and then we're going to then, as we do, turn it over and do the same, so we end up with a lot of sewn together a long strip. Alright, so now we've ironed out, cut off the excess, ironed our seams flat, and ironed it with the pretty sides out into a long strip. Now with the best side looking at you, the fold forward, I've got about halfway, well, good point down the quilt. I've left myself a good 8-inch tail, or 6-inch at least tail, and I started to pin. Now I'm not going to pin anymore, because what will happen is I'm going to put this with a walking foot, and I am just going to go around these curves. Now I'm going to try and do it without stretching too much the material, so that when we turn it over we haven't got a lot of stretch lines going and making it look wavy. Anyway, I'm going to try my best. So now 1/4 inch, following the curves all the way around the outside. until we get back to, and I put another pin in, till I get back to, just reminds me, yeah, that big top hump there, to stop. So that's going to be our join. Also, I'll show you what I do, see what I do when I get to the corners. Okay, so I've just been round, and as you can see, I've stitched all the way around, same way as we do normal corners. As I said, I will put a link underneath so that that can go over and still make our mitre on that corner, alright? But what you may have noticed this time, with most of the quilts I do, I use a 2.5 inch border strip, binding strip. This one I've used 2.25. One of the reasons being is because we've got so many curves, if it's not so wide, it's far more pliable to bend around if it's not as wide as 2.5 inches. So that's one reason. But having said that, with the 2.25, you are going to have to be a lot more careful about catching that stitch underneath. So I would suggest you did hand sew it, or as I don't hand sew anymore because my hands get all funny. So I will be doing it by machine. Now, in the same way as I've told you before, the way that I match up the edges is, and I will do it on a, well, I can't do it on a straight, but I'll kind of do it on a slim, on a bend, is that, so if I take that point as being, I need, whatever the width of your bias binding is the width you need to overlap. So I need to overlap by 2.25 inches. A minute, I'll just get my ruler. Here's my one. Wrong way up, right? So if I'm taking, it starts to overlap there, and I'll just bring that around the curve and say, well, I want my pencil a minute, get things down. So I say it's going to meet there, so I'm pulling that around the corner to match. So I'm saying from there to one and a half, 2.5, so 2.25 is there. Okay, so I'm drawing a line on this top one, and I'm saying that between, well, I've got to go back and mark that one as well, haven't I? So between that one, well, if I go, now I can put it straight, if I go back 2.25, 2.25 inches from there, alright, that's where that one lies. And if I, so I've got to keep it, if I lie that on there, then that's where that one, it crosses over down there, right? So now I know my marks. Just a minute, get my scissors. So 2.25 this time. So that one, chopping it off. Let me just lie it round the fabric again because it's not straight, remember. Alright, so just double checking now that when I lie it around the fabric, oh, I could go a bit shorter actually. So that crosses over there, yeah, and that's my 2.25 overlap. So now I can cut that. Alright, so now I should have the required length to allow it to fit. So Again, as we've always done, we're going to lay that one out the right way up. This one we're going to, I can take the pin out of there now, I don't need it. This one we're going to take, of course I've got to scooch my quilt together to get it to work. That one the wrong way up. Marry up the edges. Yeah. Put a pin in the top. We haven't got a lot of room to play with yet, but put a pin on that cross there as well. Okay. And we're going to sew from the top to the bottom. We're going to sew right across there. Okay? So I'll go and do that and come back to you. Just sewn across what I said, yeah, from there to there. Okay, so now take my pins out, open it out. Number one, it is the right way round, yeah, so that's fine by me. I can then cut that 1/4 inch seam. Yeah, and you now should go in there, press this open, but I don't, not on the very last bit. I just nail press it, get my nail in there and see, yeah, lie down. Right, okay, so then it's folded back up, and now we can, and I will put a couple of pins in now because I want it to marry up correctly. I only want my little pins. So now I can feed it around, put a pin in, and from this edge, feed it around, yeah, and then in the middle where it should meet up, pop a pin in there. So now you can see, doing it that way, I got a perfect cross. There's the join. I got a perfect join, and it fits around the circle. So I just need to go back to my needle here, cut the stitches over stitch, and follow that around, cut the stitches over stitch, that one, and that's the end of the quilt. Binding joined. Alright, so I've got up quite a good look at the quilt now, and I'm going to follow around my edge because it was in a dip. Nope, not there. It would have been, nope, not there. Let's turn it round. Okay, let's follow it around. In the dip there, nope. I knew it was. On the moment, oh, where am I missing? I said I was going to do it. So it would it have been there? No, it wasn't. I wouldn't have gone down that far, so let's turn it round again. Can't find it, see? Hang on a minute. So I reckon it must be on this dip. Oh, I can't see it. Is it on that dip? No, I can't see it. I wouldn't have done it that close to the corner. Right, so I've been round twice now. I'm looking at the bottom again now. Revisiting the... It would have been this one. Nope. Or it would have been this one. I can't find it now, so wherever we did... Look at this one. Nope. Wherever we did that, it was a few down, wasn't it? So if it was this edge, it'd have been... No, it wouldn't have been there, it'd have been here. Or here. No, I simply can't find it. Anyway, that's brilliant because, you know, where we did that join that I showed you on the last video, you simply can't find it. I can't find it, so that's fine. I showed you, if you go back to previous videos, you should be able to see things like this, doing the corner in so it's mitered, what have you, yeah? I have, I'll turn it over the back so you can see it, yeah? I've done this by machine, yeah? If you did it by hand, it'd be more neater than this is, but I've done it by machine. But anyway, so that's our, well, my quilt finished, yeah? Got a few odd ends to cut off, there's one there. But that's it. So now it's got this lovely all over quilting, and I'm very happy to put this on my dining room table as a placemat, you know, as a well, pretty during the day, but absorb some heat if I put some pots and pans, not pots and pans, but put some Pyrex or serving dishes on top of it. But during the day, it's very pretty and it's going to suit me. So that's apple core. That's apple core templates. So we've learnt in the last series of videos cutting the apple core out using an AccuQuilt or Sizzix machine, or you could, I put the template out, we could do it by hand. That's entirely up to you. We've also learnt how to sew curves. So because all of these are curves. We've also learnt how to then well, you know, how to make a sandwich, that's fine. We've also used ruler work, an introduction into ruler work, so you can see the overall effect. I hope you can see. I don't know with the camera which way up to show you, so that you can actually see the ruler work. But yeah, I'll take another photograph so you can see it. And I showed you how to cut bias binding in a special way, so it's easy to cut, so that it will, you know, it's stretchy and it will go around your curves without causing loads of divots. And then how to sew that on. And in my particular case, I've done it by machine, but you could very nicely hand sew it. But I do everything by machine, so that's me. So that's that done. That's our project finished. So that is an overall quilted apple core table runner. I don't know what we're going to do next. You'll have to wait and see, won't you? Thank you for watching and playing along with me. I do enjoy all your input, and you know, everything that you've got something to say about, I take note of. It's really, really nice. As I say, comment below if there's something you really want to try, but you're like, not sure about it, and I will try and help you out the best I can. Do as I ask you to do. You know, subscribe, hit the bell, share with your friends, and this, that, the other, and do come and join us in our Facebook, Crafty So-and-So's. I'll put the link below in our notification, you know, in the information where you can drop it down and have a little look. But I love seeing you, and I love the feedback I already get within the group. But please comment below if there's something you would really love to see. I'm more than happy to do it for you. Thank you very much.